Hey, good morning. How you guys doing? Welcome in, or whatever time of day you happen to see this. Hope you're doing well. We want to talk about Pluto. All right, Pluto in retrograde, the new moon happening to 22nd and 23rd of April, new moon in Taurus. Okay, I'm going to be doing live on Patreon tonight. All right, on the 23rd of April, talking about Pluto and the new moon. We're going to do a live reading. I'm also going to be doing a meditation about transformational meditation, putting it on the channel. This is about manifesting abundance of any kind. That can be love, that can be financial resources, especially when we're going into Taurus. When this new moon is in Taurus, it is about your resources, okay? So whatever you view as resources, okay? Is it a lot of time, which we have now? Is it about a lot of togetherness, a lot of family, an abundance of friends, an abundance of connections, an abundance of clients, all right? Whatever it is, or just about freedom, freedom to do what you want, freedom to abundance of good health, whatever you want. So the Pluto retrograde is about facing your shadow self. And if you don't know about shadow work, I'm going to give you a little exercise that will help you understand shadow work and will help you do the work of shadow, okay? Pluto is transformational energy, right? The death card is connected to Pluto. Pluto is the ruler, and it's connected to 8th house. It's connected to Scorpio. It is about diving deep, and it's about things that you have shoved down. So if you don't know what that is, because a lot of Pluto energy and Scorpionic energy is subconscious, and this is something you can do to empower yourself and to unearth these things, because a lot of times things you shove down in your life come out at the most inopportune moments, right? People you have shoved away or slammed the door on pop out when you least expect them. I know we've all experienced that. And you guys have been on the spiritual journey. I know I started my spiritual journey in 2008. That is when my big crash happened. My dark night of the soul happened. My meeting my twin happened. All of these things occurred. And what happened at that point was I tried to bring back my old life. I was trying for about 10 years until about 2017, right? So a little less than 10 years, maybe 8 years, to bring back my old life, to resuscitate my old life, but in a new way. I was doing my old kind of work, but in a more entrepreneurial kind of way, and that was lovely, but it wasn't the full journey of where I'm going. So what I mean by that is, like, I was trying to I created a job for myself that I wanted to quit. Essentially, that's what I did. I created the same job that collapsed on me. Just I was doing it myself, right? I was an entrepreneur. So what's interesting is that in the time period after that, what happened was the full-on crash, and then the rebirth after that. So I want to say to you guys that when we're in this Pluto retrograde period, starts April 24th, and it goes for about 6 months. And the thing I learned, I will share with you what I learned and what I did in order to manifest the new life, right? Manifest Taurus energy, manifest financial stability, financial abundance, is to embrace my shadow. Because when I was trying to recreate the old thing, or going back to the old way of doing things, the universe kept shutting me down. They're like, yeah, that skill set, great, and everything like that, but you've got to really go toward what you're here to do. So that's what I am what I'm experiencing, my little roadmap is now the roadmap that all y'all are on. I know you're on different timelines and you're in different places in the journey, but what I'm seeing is the collective roadmap is mirroring my roadmap for what I went through between 2008 and now. And now this is sort of happening again. I'm seeing it recreated with the collective. So I'm going to say to you that in this time period of Pluto and retrograde, working on your shadow self and allowing those things to come up for yourself and healing them. You might be already have been doing that all this time, okay? All this time. But this Pluto retrograde time period is a great time to face the shadow self and do shadow work and continue on with this. If you have already been on this journey, which likely many of you have been, if those of you haven't been doing it, you've been doing it subconsciously. All right, I'm telling you, if you're on the spiritual journey, you've been doing this already subconsciously. But let me give you a tool that can help you embrace this energy and use it to your highest good and benefit, right? Because you all are going to be called upon. Remember, I've been saying this for now at least a few months, that you guys are the leaders and teachers and people who are going to be looked to by people who have not been on the spiritual journey yet, who are going through this cold turkey, who are going to experience not just this Pluto retrograde here in 2020. Since 2017 and through, I think it is 2025 or 2026, the United States, if you're in the US, okay, a lot of you are not in the US, but if you're in the US, America is going to be experiencing a Pluto return. And it is a transformative energy. It started like the shadow period, like 2017, 2018, 2019. January of this year, January, February, was the first real, like we talked about the Pluto conjunct Jupiter energy. We talked about that. The Pluto return has started. It won't really be full force until 2021 into 2022. That is going to be a massively transformative experience. That's when most people who are not on the path of spiritual awakening, right? You know, there's people like me who, and some of you probably have been on the path since I have, right? 2008 when I experienced my spiritual awakening and began down the road here and was pushed into creating this channel, creating this platform for communicating about the things I had learned, so that those, right, holding a torch for those following. Now you guys are going to be the ones who are pushed into holding the torch for those following you. Okay. And so some of you may be following exactly in what I've been doing, which is creating a YouTube channel or creating some kind of 5D experience, right? That is where we're all connected by the internet. We're all connected by this technology. Even though we're not physically connected in this 3D world, we are very connected in this 5D world. So let me give you this tool. The shadow, working on your shadow self is, I think, can be accessed, because it is subconscious, can be accessed most easily through the hatchway of your upbringing, of your growth experience as a child. Okay, that's why inner child work, that's why, let's revisit the wounds of childhood and all that kind of stuff. A lot of people are just shove that away. Like, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with that. This Pluto conjunction, this Pluto retrograde, this American Pluto return, it only happens every 249 years, right? And now it's happening in America because that's the birth of America, 1776, right? That's why we're having this Pluto return. It is super powerful. It will transform the United States, and those who are embracing the energy of transformation instead of really wanting to hold on to what was, are going to have it much easier, are going to be able to expand their abundance, expand into the new, going to embrace that energy. The tool is journaling. And in order to get there, in order to get to that really embracing the part, the work of this, because we're talking about Capricorn, we're talking about Taurus, we're talking about a lot of earth energies. Capricorn is about doing the hard work, right? So Pluto in retrograde here is going to be a situation where you're going to want to do this work. Otherwise, it pops out at inopportune times. So what I want you to do is I want you to take a fresh journal, okay, a fresh journal, and just start remembering moments that are pivotal in your upbringing. And how do you know they're pivotal? Because they come up for you again and again over the course of your grown-up adult life. So I'm going to say there was one that happened to me just the other day. The video I put up on Tuesday morning, the morning messages, it disappeared. I took it down because I made a little mistake in there. I was a little dyslexic at how I was looking at dates as it related to Pluto. And someone called me out on it, not in a nasty way, but I felt that hot burning embarrassment, the poker through the forehead. I felt all of that because one of the things from my childhood was being made to feel like I was stupid and I made a lot of mistakes and I was very careless. It wasn't really true. It wasn't really true at all. But also part of my makeup is I'm a big picture thinker, much more than a detail person. And my Pluto is in Virgo, okay? And my North Node is in Gemini. So there's a lot of detail work that needs to happen there, right? That's something I need to embrace more. So the work of that was to be like, oh, that was the feeling that I felt as a little kid, that when people told me I was stupid or I didn't know enough or how dare you, who the hell are you to say blah, blah, blah. As a little kid, you think that's right because you're a little kid and you don't know. But as an old soul, you do know. You do know. And so the tool for you to do, so I literally had one of those moments where I didn't realize how much that still bothered me about being, I was not called stupid. None of those things happened. None of those things happened. But that's what my own self, my own shadow did. It came out, it was like, look, you're so stupid. You don't have any sense of detail. You're scattered. You have no, whatever it is, like about details, like you have no attention to detail at all, no follow through, all of these things that I took in to myself as a little kid and I believed about myself. And then I pushed it down as I grew up and I worked really hard at being better at those things. But every once in a while they do happen. And it reminds me of that. And so it's not that these things are going to be completely foreign to you, that you will not be like, oh, I never knew I felt that, like the unconscious part. It's more a sense of the feeling pops up in an outsized way as a grown up. So if you believed, or the shadow, the things that you abandoned, the things that were abandoned, you abandoned yourself around those things as a child. Right? What were the things that were told to you that you embrace? What did you abandon yourself? How did you abandon yourself as a child to be accepted, to get love? Right? What are the things? Be quiet. Don't be so loud. Don't run so fast. Children should be seen and not heard. You don't know anything because you're a little kid. You have no attention to detail. You have no follow through. All of these things for me pop out every once in a while, and they give me this fear and terror and oh my God, no one's going to love me because I'm terrible at detail. Right? And that becomes the truth. That becomes an outsized thing for you. So it's about telling yourself a different story. Right? It's about reshaping that. And if you can, in a journal, just remember those moments. that keep popping up in your life. And what is that about for you? What did you have to give up as a natural child, your natural exuberant self? I always see my little inner child as a little girl with a tutu and pigtails and sparkly fairy dust and unicorns and all of that. And I was molded because that's what society and that's what a family does in the 50s and 60s and 70s, because they want you to be a functioning member of society. Okay, they want you to be able to do that. But now what's happening is all of the astrology around moving forward, all of the astrology combinations of the astrological combination with tarot and with numerology for me has shown me this path, has shown me that, oh, all of those things, I was not that negative. Those were not negative things. There's a gift in each one of those things. So when I look back and I think, oh, I was being told I didn't know. Well, you know what? They just didn't recognize the wisdom. They didn't recognize the things I was saying as important or having wisdom, right? Fifth chakra stuff, right? Quiet down, be quiet, always shushing, right? Shushing. And those kinds of things, it doesn't mean that you had a horrific family. It doesn't mean that at all. This is just how child rearing happened. Okay. So there's no blame in this, there's no blame, right? If there's a toxic relationship, handle that. But this is about you. All right. This is not about them. This is about you and you finding those things that keep popping up for you. And you have, as an adult, told yourself that that's true. Embrace that story, the story you were told. So now we're talking about unearthing those things. So journal just the moments, just the minutes, okay? The minutes of your childhood. I was told a lot that if I was financially successful, that no man would ever love me. That I would never have a life partner, that would be something that no man would find attractive. If I was too smart, okay, that was not something that a man, and this is absolutely not true. Okay, absolutely not true. My psychic, my intuitive self, that was discouraged actively. Being an independent thinker, having a philosophy of my own, Sagittarian energy, my not embracing traditional religion because of the just a million reasons. Okay, just a million reasons. And as an adopted kid too, don't be different than us, be the same as us. So the natural child was really shoved down. And all of this work, all of this tarot, this my Gemini in North Node in that 8th house is about unearthing all of this stuff constantly and transformationally moving it forward. So we are going to be doing more mentoring. We are going to start doing mentoring around spiritual path, because this is what we're doing now for the next few years, is about transformational achievement, transformational, embracing the career, embracing the prosperity, embracing the abundance, embracing the love that is you. A lot of, there are LGBTQ people, and they are incredibly resilient, being told that they're not supposed to be themselves, right? How many of us are in that because we're being groomed to be a working member of society. But that society now is changing, flat out changing, okay? And with the United States going through a Pluto return for the next few years, you guys are going to be needed to be in the forefront of having done this work and possibly doing it for other people. A lot of you in the spiritual business class are coaches, are healers, teachers, right? And that over the next few years is going to be expanded massively. Okay, so we are doing a session of that now. It's only in week 2 or week 3 right now. We will be doing a recorded version of that very soon. And if anybody can access it. All right, so I'm going to do a little bit of a reading here now. If you want to jump on the Patreon live, that's happening tonight. Oh no, tonight, on the 23rd. Yes, the 23rd. The dates are all messed up for me. Okay, the dates are all messed up for me, as you can see. So when that person called me out on the dates, it's another thing of like, oh my God, I'm so stupid. All right. So if you want to join the Patreon thing, there's a link below too. All right. So let's do a little reading here today on the new moon in Taurus, the Pluto retrograde. I will be talking more about the other retrogrades that are going on. We talked about Venus the other day, other ones that are going on in May. I'll be talking more about those. Okay, so let's see for you guys. Let's see for you guys. Chop wood. You know what? I'm doing the under, between two worlds, flexible. Time to go. So the readings now, the reading is coming from, the phone call is coming from inside the house. The readings are coming from underneath here right now. I'm going to do the same thing with the tarot deck. That is the subconscious part of the deck. And when I pull that card from underneath, what's that showing you is, like this Pluto retrograde, what are the things that need to come up right now? What are the things that need to be looked at right now? I'm seeing, let's see. The chop wood is the Capricorn energy of doing the work, right? Doing the work around everything we just said about getting the journal and writing down the moments. You can deeply journal each of those moments, but just get a sense of the moments right now. And then you can deeply journal about them. But when you see those moments, you will know that they're important. This is the work of that, chop wood, right? Between two worlds. We're going to be that way for a little while here, okay? Like I said about the United States, but in this Pluto retrograde for the next 6 months, we're going to be between these two worlds. Flexible and time to go. Flexible is the Wheel of Fortune card. It's about embracing the things that need to be embraced, letting things go that need to go. Time to go. There's some things that are falling away right now. The Pluto conjunct Jupiter energy is happening again in June and happening again in November. So the things that need to go are going to really need to go around those times. They're going to be flushed. The first one was around the time when we went into quarantine. Okay, here in the United States. So most of us anyway. So let's see here. Navigating this time period, please. Navigating this time period. All right, best ways to navigate this time period. Page of Swords. Six of Cups. Nine of Pentacles. Page of Wands. I'll talk this through with you for a second. Six of Wands. Nine of Cups. Two of Pentacles. This is the same spread as I normally do, just coming from the bottom of the deck. Three of Pentacles. Chariot. So this was the first underneath the deck. All right, so I'll redo this. Six of Wands, Nine of Cups, Two of Pentacles, Three of Pentacles. We got to work together. Check it out. Tower. Now, what's showing up above? Let me see if I can do this for you here. Queen of Swords, Four of Swords, Wheel. Seven of Swords, Nine of Pentacles, Hanged Man. Okay, so what I'm seeing here is there is a certain amount of nostalgia about how it used to be. Six of Cups, Eight of Pentacles. There's a lot of connection here that needs to happen. Page, the Page of Wands and the Page of Swords. So this is about new ideas, new innovation coming for work. That's what's coming. Nine of Cups, September, 9th month, or in 9 months. There's going to, over the course of the next 9 months to 2 years, innovation in this. All right, innovation in your work, innovation, overcoming this nostalgia. Six of Cups here with the Venus in retrograde can be people coming back. Okay, we talked about that. And also things coming up for you. A certain amount of people in your life are going to hold on tight to how it used to be because that's what they really want. Okay? And as we move forward together, Chariot and Three of Pentacles, we're going to need to help each other. We are going to need to help each other because there is a gathering storm. Okay? And the key here is not to get frightened about this, about what's going to be happening. The key is to stay in flow, stay in the moment, be your Queen of Swords self, be your Nine of Pentacles self, do your healing work, okay? Do the things you're here to do. Know where you're going because the time is coming here. And I do feel like there is going to be one more here. Yeah. Okay. So a lot of us are going to be making sacrifices for other people. And what I mean by that is you'll be fully in this powerful high vibration mode, right? As we're walking forward together. That's what needs to happen here. There is going to be a certain amount of people who are holding tight to the way it used to be. And that's going to get them in a difficult place. It's going to be difficult to navigate as a tied up, right? As somebody tied up. Also, Seven of Swords, not being genuine, not being honest. For the collective, the North Node moving into Gemini in May is going to herald a time, Seven of Pentacles, it's going to herald a time when people are wanting answers. And so you are possibly communicating that. There's your Hermit. Okay. This is something to do over the next 6 months, definitely, while we're in Pluto retrograde. But to me, it's like at September, 9th month, September. This is when a lot of you are really going to hit your stride, communicating about the things you've learned as a hermit. Okay? And so some of you as a hermit are getting real downloads, judgment energy here, getting real downloads, hearing your understanding your calling, embracing, being flexible, letting go of the old world, moving into the new world, staying in high vibration, learning how to do that for yourself. So there's, in this time of quarantine, there is a fine line to walk between, hey, we're being given a rest. We're being given a rest. We're being given a chance to not be so woo all the time, right? Go, go, go. That's kind of this is a time period. All these retrogrades are about relaxing, sitting back, reworking, restructuring, rethinking. It's very hermit time period for a lot of people, for a lot of us. And you guys in that time period, it is about filtering out the noise, doing the journaling work that I talked about, really writing all of those moments that in your childhood have resurfaced as patterns in your life, okay? The third party stuff, the codependent stuff, the cheating, any kind of thing that is antithetical to your authentic self. These are the things that need to be worked on right now, and embracing this new energy as it comes out, because you're going to need to help other people who have been resisting this so hard. Okay? There's a lot of people who are going to have a very tough time of it. You know exactly who they are. There could be, with all the squares and all of the aspects of the time period, there could be major financial loss, major, it could be a crash, could be, all kinds of things, because what you're witnessing is a shift into a new way of doing things. So money will be different. Everything we're doing will be different. You guys are awake to all of this. Getting a heads up. And how you embrace it, because you're on the spiritual path, is going to be the wave of the future. you're going to be helping other people embrace it for themselves, right? The things that we used to value, the people who used to make a lot of money, the people, any corruption or, people making a lot of money in not in service to other people. It's not, the money is not bad, right? It's about service. As we're going to move forward into service, those things that are going to be more, the things that are not revered are going to be revered. So all the stuff we've been talking about, astrology, numerology, tarot, spiritual pursuits, connected to the universe, mediumship, artists, musicians, this all is the same stuff, right? And anybody, whatever task they do, whatever kind of work they have, must be connected in alignment to that higher self. I mean, you can be a lawyer who's like an amazing lawyer because they're super connected. It's not about choosing it for the end result, right? Which is money and status and other things, because that's about ego. It's about choosing the path of work because it's truly who you are. And as a child, as an adopted kid, no less, being told, no, you've got to be like us in order to survive in the world. I believed them, and that was true until 2008, and then it wasn't true anymore. For me, it was not true anymore. And when 2012 happened, and we were all like waiting for this big spiritual thing to happen, it's just been delayed because people still held on too tightly to what was happening, to what they wanted to keep hold of power. They wanted to keep hold of how, the banks and things like that. When the banks fell off a cliff, right? They wanted to make that still work. Same thing goes for now. When their big business is falling off a cliff, really, it's us that needs the help, not the big business, right? That's what's going on. So embracing the new, embracing what's going to be happening forward. And this is not really a political thing at all, but those with corrupt purposes, whoever they are, that will go upside down, right? That will completely go upside down. Those who are in alignment with their heart chakra, those who are in alignment with their spiritual calling on this planet will get raised up. And that's how that's going to work. So you're here right now to embrace this Pluto energy in retrograde and manifest in the new moon of Taurus. Manifest the thing, your true prosperity and abundance in all things, right? Taurus energy comes through your embracing of the natural child, of who you truly were, of those things that are most in alignment with your higher self. That's why so many kids, exhibit their psychic ability, their intuitive ability. And one thing I want to say before I stop this is, if you go around and say, am I doing this right? Am I doing this right? You're looking to outside people for approval. I hear it all the time when we're talking about intuition. We're talking about your abilities with tarot and things like that. Am I doing it right? Not up to me to say. It's up to you, okay? It's listening to your intuitive self is a practice. Listening and trusting it. Because y'all have it, all right? This is not, you have all got it. That's one of the reasons you're on this path right now, is to remember, right? All the retrogrades are about the biggest one is remember. Remember who you are. The journaling exercise can help you do that, can help you get back to the things that you've been shoving down and shoving down and shoving down, and manage how it comes out. Embrace it. Love it. Stare at it. Beautiful, shadow. You're beautiful. That's another thing. Embracing the beauty of each one of us. Embracing that. Right? We all are beautiful. We are all beautiful creatures of this planet. We are all beautiful souls. letting all of those things go is going to be the challenge. And like I said, in the United States, until 2025 or 2026, you're going to see this massive upheaval happening. And my biggest piece of advice to you is, don't say, ask yourself if you're doing it right. Because when you're following your own intuitive sense, when you're following your own path, right? That's how you float into my channel, and you float out. You other teachers, other really amazing teachers around YouTube and stuff. You float in, you float out. That's why that happens. You're following your soul. Keep it up. Okay, my darlings. Yes. Trust yourself. You know. You do. You know. You know.